What's going on, everybody? Just woke up. You can probably hear it in my voice. I feel like I've said that. I think I said that yesterday, maybe the day before as well. I can't really tell anymore at this point. But yeah, you can probably hear it in my voice. I just got up and I'm already seeing some stuff on the internet that's making me laugh a little bit. So, with that being said, I shouldn't even have to say it. Like, you probably already know what's going on in the United States. It's been pretty much mainstream news 24/7 for well over a week at this point about everything that's been going on. It's been absolutely insane from what I know. Now that the protests have happened in all 50 states and have continued for as long as they have, and also taken place in other countries, I think this now counts as the largest civil rights movement in history. I don't know, that's just something I saw on the internet that may or may not be true, but you know, when something like this happens, everybody finds a way to try and get themselves involved, right? You know, some people, they sign petitions, some people, they donate money, some people, they go out and peacefully protest. Unfortunately, some people go out and loot and riot and steal. But then you have, well, of course, Jake Paul recording himself running through the mall as it's being looted, having a good old time. But then you have other people who, I guess, don't necessarily know how to really help, but then they try their hardest. And you know, that's respectable, right? If you're trying to do some peaceful stuff to make your voice heard, whatnot, great. That's cool with me, right? So this whole go bald for BLM has basically taken off, and a lot of people actually look like they've gone through with it, including Emma Watson. Now, if you don't know, BLM stands for Black Lives Matter, which is the activist group that is essentially behind a lot of the protesting and whatnot going on right now. It's kind of the movement that a lot of people are calling back to show support during this whole situation. Now, once again, like I said, people have gone out and done all kinds of different things, right? I mean, people have peacefully protested. People have been calling police departments, signing petitions, donating money, all kinds of different things to try and help during this time. But then now, go bald for BLM is something that people are going through with, right? Alright, so, okay, let's just go through with this. Now, the good thing, I guess, that is coming from this so far, the whole bald for BLM, is some of the people doing it are donating their locks of hair and whatnot to cancer charities. If you didn't know, I'm assuming it's a global thing, it's not just here in the US, but in the United States, there's a bunch of different charities that, like, if you have longer hair, or really any hair at all, basically you can cut it off, you can, like, bag it up or whatever, and send it to these charities, and they create wigs and stuff out of it for cancer patients who are going through chemotherapy and whatnot, and they unfortunately go bald as a side effect, or in order to just go ahead and clear up what hair they have left. And Emma Watson apparently donated her hair to one of these charities. So I guess that is the good thing that's really coming from all this. And I guess if this is spreading awareness, but that's kind of the thing that I'm confused about here. So once again, like, I'm cool with everybody, you know, doing whatever, right? Doing peaceful things in order to kind of, you know, show solidarity or try to make their voice heard. That's dope. I mean, it really is. But, one thing I am confused about, actually two things I'm confused about now. How exactly does this help the Black Lives Matter movement? So, like I said, Black Lives Matter activists right now are being arrested in the streets for breaking curfew. They're out peacefully protesting, getting in altercations with the police. Like, there's been some instances where, like, the cops are shooting, you know, rubber bullets at people. They're out there getting tear gassed, things like that. And then you have people just going online and shaving their head and saying that they're doing something equal, I guess, or trying to use that as, like, I don't know, a point to make, you know, that's not necessarily doing anything to help the cause. I mean, at this point, I think the whole, like, you know, spread awareness about the Black Lives Matter movement is kind of ineffective, considering the fact that pretty much everyone, at least here in the US, knows what Black Lives Matter is. I mean, it's been so televised and it's been in the news so much that, like, everyone, I think, is already aware, and it's not like this is a newer group or idea going around. Black Lives Matter has been around for years at this point. I mean, they march pretty much in a lot of the major instances, and they've been doing things for a long time now. It's not like this one instance just kind of brought this group together and they're brand new on the block, no one knew who they were. Black Lives Matter, it already has a name for itself, you know what I'm saying? There's already kind of that aura around it. People are already aware of what that is. So I feel like at this point, quote unquote, spreading awareness isn't necessarily, I would say, doing the same as someone actually out, trying to get things done. But then on top of that, right, even if people know about it and everything, I don't really see how shaving your head bald really, I guess, proves a point for Black Lives Matter, right? Like, Black Lives Matter as a movement wasn't like everyone shave your head bald to stand together in solidarity or anything like that. Like, when you go to the store or whatever, since, like, you're raising awareness, people aren't going to see that your head's bald and be like, oh, she must be a Black Lives Matter activist. And then the three people behind him are like, what is Black Lives Matter? And then that person explains it to him, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of new fans. I mean, it just doesn't really seem like it's going to be that effective as some sort of movement or statement or anything like that. It's almost like when people said they were going to flood social media with the, like, black squares, especially on, like, Instagram and things like that, with the Black Lives Matter hashtag. That doesn't really do anything. Considering that people are using Black Lives Matter as almost like a stop in order to coordinate new peaceful protests, to talk about getting people, like, bailed out and things like that. Basically, it's almost like the whole voice of the protest at this point is Black Lives Matter. Essentially, all you really have done is hindered people from seeing the actual movement, Like, I've seen that on social media in the last few days where people, they think that they're helping, but what they're doing, like, really doesn't do anything, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, right, like, you're probably like, oh, Optimus, it's not even that big of a deal, let them do their thing, let them have fun, or whatever, right? Like, just, not that big of a deal. Now, when it all comes back around, I guess, and you figure out who organized this, right? Because, like, we don't know who actually came up with this. Well, actually, we do know who came up with this, but it's probably not who you're going to expect. So essentially, this whole Go Bald for BLM is another one of 4chan's pranks. Now, if you're not really aware of what I mean when I say that, 4chan for a few years now has basically, like, almost coordinated in a way to kind of build up these weird online movements or trends, things like that, to basically, like, fucking entertain themselves, right? They've done this a few times to massive success, and every single time that they do it, honestly, they just kind of bait the whole internet, and it's crazy how they do it because, like, most people, if they know what 4chan is, are not affiliated with it or they don't like 4chan, things like that. But then all of these random, like, movements and trends, like I said, come out, and it turns out that a lot of them end up coming from 4chan as, like, a joke. So you can see this post here. It says, hashtag Go Bald for BLM. Get hashtag Go Bald for BLM trending on Twitter and Instagram. The idea is to get women, particularly white women, to shave their heads for BLM, guilt them into getting rid of their straight white hair to show solidarity with black women. And I don't think this is even the earliest post made on 4chan about this entire thing, but this came out yesterday, this little 4chan post here, and then all of a sudden, you have all these people shaving themselves bald because they think that they're showing solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, and in reality, they're just kind of doing something that 4chan told them to do. Now, once again, I have absolutely zero idea how 4chan, I guess, gets the internet behind what they do when they're trolling, but they do a pretty phenomenal fucking job. I mean, this is beyond anything that I think I could ever pull off, right? Like, and I'm kind of a troll, right? I'm known for trolling a little bit, but people on 4chan legitimately get people, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to the troll, man. Like, they have fucking celebrities out here shaving themselves bald because they think that that's what the Black Lives Matter movement wants, when in reality all they want is a couple $1,000s donated to the bail funds and stuff. It makes people look completely gooberish, right? Because they think that they're helping and making a point, making a stand, when in reality they've just shaved themselves bald and everyone doesn't have any idea why. Now, obviously, if most people knew that this whole thing was kind of coordinated by 4chan, they wouldn't be doing it because, well, 4chan has gotten itself a pretty bad reputation in, like, the media and stuff, and that's where most people know them from. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. And at a certain point, like, you can't even blame them for doing these kinds of things anymore. Like with the memes, right? Where they kind of just fucking bait people into doing things because, like, if every single time that they do this, it works, and it works pretty successfully, why wouldn't they keep doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, picture that, I don't know, you're someone on 4chan, right? And you're sitting there at the keyboard, chilling out, watching the board or whatever. I really don't know what 4chan is up to in its spare time, what it's doing any other time. Usually people say it's a lot of like racist and messed up shit, but then you see these threads start popping up where people are talking about, oh hey, we're gonna bait these celebrities and all these other people who think that they're making a point into shaving their heads. Who's down to just type this hashtag? At a certain point, like, why wouldn't they do that? Because, I mean, they're gonna get you to do it, they're gonna get the laugh that they want, they're gonna get their entertainment out of it. And they do pretty much every single time. Like, I don't know, the people gotta start kind of like researching what they're putting like behind themselves. Like, especially if you're shaving your head, like you gotta check the hashtag out and see what's going on first. But with that being said, yeah, 4chan has essentially baited people on the internet into doing things that I don't really think are gonna help, right? Is basically baiting the internet into shaving themselves bald, cutting off their hair, because people think that they're making a point. But even if, like, this didn't come from 4chan and it was actually some movement or whatever going on online, it still, I don't think, really makes it to where it's, like, helping. It's not a very big beneficial thing in this whole situation. So, I mean, with that being said, don't shave your head. Like, there's no need to. You're not making a point with that, and you're just cutting your hair off. I mean, if you're gonna do it for charity or whatever, like, go ahead, or for style or whatever. I mean, that whole part's up to you, but don't let the internet deceive you into thinking that just because you shaved yourself bald that you're saving the world or something. So, I don't know. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Not going bald for BLM because, well, I know it's a big troll, and signing out.